Really good win for our team and for our program. Really proud of Asa and his teammates. Hard fought game, left everything we had out there on the floor. A lot of things that that we can continue to get better at. We grew from yesterday to today. Our turnovers obviously were an issue for us in both games, but I liked our tempo a lot better offensively. The ball moved a lot. We made St. John's defend a lot more than we made Marquette defend. We were really good in the offensive glass, made some timely free throws. Asa was absolutely terrific, letting things come to him. Defensively, our front court was off the charts with all the actions that they run. Our ball screen coverages were really good, really sound, really detailed. Hard fought game, a ton of adversity for our team. We have a very young team, led by this guy to my left. We got 2 grad transfer guards, and the rest of our guys, for the most part, are underclassmen, freshmen, and sophomores. Outside of RJ and Justin, if I'm not mistaken. So to face that amount of adversity in so many different ways, foul trouble throughout the game, a costly turnover here, a missed shot there, a timely shot by them, whether it be late clock or a tip in and one. There were just so many up and downs during the game. It was a really emotional game, but we didn't allow ourselves to be overly emotional. We played with a lot of maturity, especially for our age, as a team. So couldn't be more proud of the effort. St. John's is really good. They play extremely hard, defend you, turn you over. They got a ton of tips, of course. Their press was incredibly effective. Best pressing coach, of course, in the history of the game. And we got to continue to work in some of those areas. But it's a really big win for this team and for this program.
We'll start with questions for Asa, and we'll go by how I see folks, Dash and then Jordan.
Yeah, Asa, I mean, Coach talked about that adversity, and he actually talked a lot about that going into these 2 games. Now that you guys have kind of been through some of this, how can it help you now moving forward?
I would just say it just motivates us to take it into practice every single day. I mean, this is what we do, and we just showed it tonight.
Asa, just what did you see from your teammates when you fouled out, and just how they responded and what they were able to do to get this thing done?
That's just our leadership from Coach White and our leadership from Silas. I mean, all our huddles have been effective, and it just shows that we trust everybody on this team.
Go to Mark Weiser, then Connor Riley, and finish up with Palmer.
Hey, so what does it mean to go home with this W for Georgia? Instead of going 0-2, even if you went toe-to-toe, just getting the W. What does that mean?
It's our new standard. We're going to hold each other accountable to this standard every single day in practice and on the games.
Yeah, so what did you as a team learn about yourselves from this trip to the Bahamas?
It just showed our aggression. It just showed our toughness, how we handle adversity.
Hey, so you mentioned the resolve from your teammates when you fouled out. Just who were some of the guys that stood out to you as team leaders there?
Silas, Tyron, Dylan really stepped up. Sampto with a huge rebound. I mean, it's just stuff that we do every single day in practice, and we showed it today.
I think that's all. Did I miss anybody? I don't see anybody else on the screen. Everybody good? Okay, we'll dismiss Asa, and then we'll go to Coach White. We'll come the reverse order. We'll have Palmer first, then go to Connor Riley.
Yeah, Mike, you've been adamant that this is a better team. Obviously, the SEC play will determine that a lot, but how much was a win like today proof of concept in the non-conference at least?
It's proof. We just beat a legitimate team. St. John's could beat anybody in the country, and we just beat St. John's, of course. We were right there with Marquette yesterday, who on Monday. What day is today? Is that tomorrow? Is today Sunday?
Today's Sunday.
Well, it's been a blur. Marquette tomorrow, I'm assuming, will be in the top 10, and we had our chances right there. We were, nip and tuck right down the stretch. So 2 days in a row where we're ultra competitive against 2 of the better teams in the country. We get one. And we're just getting started, with this group. I love the potential of this group. I love this team's character. I love these guys as young people more than anything. They're connected, they're tough, they're resilient. Mental toughness was on full display, led by Silas as much as anybody. I'm glad Asa gave him some credit. He's growing and growing. Proud of these guys. That said, we're what are we, 7 games in, guys? 7 games in. I mean, so I look forward to getting some rest. Our guys getting some rest tonight and tomorrow. We travel back, watch a lot of film, learn from these past couple games. And that's the biggest reason you come down here to an event like this, to play against 2 of these premier programs, is to learn more about yourself. You hope to get 2. You'd really like to get 1. But even if we went over, we'd have the right approach in terms of learning and figuring out how we can get better, because we've got some really good pieces. And these guys have got great work ethic and drive to become a pretty good team.
How much does it help the rest of the guys on this team that they were able to find a way to finish this game and get the win with Asa being fouled out for those last 3 minutes?
Really big, really big. But, I think overall, especially uniquely for the youth of this team, we've got a pretty high level of quiet confidence. And maybe that's Silas. Tyron probably exudes some of that. Dakota probably exudes some of that. But we're still defining roles, and we're still learning, as I just talked about, who we are, especially offensively. I don't know that we're going to have many more or a bunch of defensive efforts that'll be better than that. Today we defended at a really high level. But when we have games where, we've got our entire front court clicking on all cylinders and figuring out what type actions are best for us, with all of these new guys and all of the youth, of course, we'll continue to trend upward offensively and get better. Our turnovers, of course, have got to go down. But all that said, I think we've got a few guys that, whether one guy's out or 2 guys are out, as was the case today, when multiple guys foul out. It wasn't a couple guys' best offensive performance, who have had some better games, in these past few. Kind of searching a little bit there, but overall, I think 1 through 15 in our locker room, whether one guy's out or 3 or 4 guys are out, we feel like we've got enough to be competitive.
Go to Mark, then Jordan, and wrap up with Dash.
Mike, you said it was a really big win for this team, really big win for the program. Why is that?
It's a high level Big East team. Coming into today, I want to say they were ranked 10th in KenPom, incredible offensive and defensive numbers. A team who is equally as resilient, who's got some big wins, and obviously a really, really tough loss that they could have won the other day. And obviously it was a very unique ending to that game with Baylor, but St. John's they can beat anybody in the country. They just can. And they're a good team and neutral floor. And to add to that, I would say the fact that we had a 21-hour approximately prep time, for this game. And St. John's was playing their 3rd game in 4 days. Don't get me wrong. Both teams, I told our guys, hey, both teams are tired, but I don't want to hear any excuses about how we didn't have a lot of time to prep. Our toughness will be checked. And as you're trying to build a culture and you're trying to rebuild a program, of course, that response level, that mental toughness level, that the level of overcoming adversity in such a short period of time. And then throughout the game, our in-game responses were tremendous as well. I told our guys, if we came up short and lost by 5, I still would rave about the fact that when the ball was tipped, we were tired. We just were. And I'm sure St. John's was too. Silas Demery was tired at the tip. He didn't say that, but I know that because of how hard he played yesterday. And he had 21 hours to rest. And meanwhile, in those 21 hours, we're feeding these guys as much information as we can to help give them the best chance they have against St. John's, of course. So it's not like, these guys are just laying in bed. We did walk through, we did a ton of film. These guys had to get up early this morning. No excuses. Just showed a lot of character today, which is something that we can reference for the rest of the season. And hopefully in seasons to come, as we continue to grow this program.
Mike, you talked about the foul trouble. How big was Dylan James down the stretch having to play those minutes, and what did you see from Dylan toward the close of this game?
I call him every day Dylan. He's always ready, doesn't have bad practices, always got a great attitude, incredibly consistent with his demeanor. You can't speed him up. And down the stretch, after getting 5 blocks, throughout the game, had a couple big seals that led to layups from our guards. Does some stuff offensively sometimes that doesn't show up in the stat sheet. And then inbounded the ball a lot down the stretch versus their really productive press, of course. So the poise, the sound decisions he made in those areas too helped us win the game. And those things, again, don't show up in the stat sheet. So Dylan played as well. Dylan's plays, his minutes led to winning as much as anyone on our team today.
I think we may have lost Dash. And if we did, we're going to call it a day. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.